You ever find yourself binge-watching documentaries on Pompeii, or tumbling down a late-night rabbit hole of unsolved ancient mysteries, and think, is it a little weird that I'm so fascinated by chaos and disaster? You see the ruins of a fallen empire, the story of a doomed ship like the Titanic, or the creepy remnants of a long-dead cult, and you just can't look away. Well, the truth is, that fascination isn't just some quirky hobby. It's a powerful psychological instinct. And no, it doesn't mean you're morbid. It means your brain is active and trying to protect you. Your brain uses the dark chapters of history to do something vital. It processes anxieties about our own fragile world from a safe distance. Today, we're breaking down the dark psychology that explains why you can't look away. This is a journey into the shadows of the human mind, and it explains more about you than you'd ever imagine. If this is already sounding familiar, stick around, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Number 1. The survival rehearsal. Let's start with the most basic reason of all: survival. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain is hardwired to pay extra attention to negative information. It's a feature, not a bug. The early humans who got intensely curious about danger, the ones who stopped to figure out exactly why a fellow hunter was mauled by a predator, were the ones who learned to avoid that same fate. That instinct is very much alive and well inside you. Psychologists call this morbid curiosity. It's that innate pull to seek out information about threatening situations. When you're watching a show about the Chernobyl disaster, you're not just learning facts about a nuclear meltdown. Your brain is running a full-on simulation. It's analyzing the chain of events, the mistakes that were made, the fallout. It's gathering data on how systems collapse and how people act in a crisis. This is a survival rehearsal. You're learning about massive threats without ever having to face them yourself. Just think about the Titan submersible tragedy, which gripped the entire world as it went down to see the Titanic. People were glued to both stories, the original disaster and the modern one, for the same core reason. They are high-stakes, life-or-death scenarios that force us to confront terrifying possibilities. By studying these events from the safety of our couch, we get a sense of being prepared. We tell ourselves we understand the risks a little better now. Psychologists have a name for this: protective vigilance. Your brain is essentially saying, let us review this catastrophic failure so we can add it to our How to Survive the World manual. It's an ancient learning mechanism, just updated for a world of documentaries and Wikipedia deep dives. Number 2. The quest for control in a chaotic world. Which brings us to a reason that feels especially true today: our need for control. Let's be honest, we live in an era of constant, low-grade anxiety. We're hit with news of unpredictable events every day. From economic instability and political messes to the threat of climate change. It often feels like the world is spinning out of our hands, and that persistent uncertainty is mentally exhausting. So, what does your brain do? It seeks out chaos that has already been contained. It looks to history. When you study a historical disaster, you're looking at a closed loop. The story has a beginning, a middle, and critically, an end. The damage is done, the chaos is over, and the consequences are known. This provides a deep sense of psychological order. Psychologists note that we instinctively try to resolve ambiguity to make our world more predictable. Exploring a historical catastrophe lets you do exactly that. You can trace the cause and effect, you can understand the variables, and you can see the whole picture. This creates something called psychological distance, a mental buffer zone that lets you process threatening information without feeling personally endangered. It gives you the illusion of control. By understanding why Rome fell, or how the Spanish flu spread so fast, or how the Jonestown cult spiraled into tragedy, you're placing a neat narrative structure onto pure chaos. You're making the unpredictable predictable. This isn't about being entertained by suffering. It's about your mind's desperate attempt to find patterns in a world that often seems to have none. It's a coping mechanism. Faced with the anxieties of right now, you retreat into the tragedies of the past because, in the past, all the questions have answers. It gives you a sense of mastery over events that felt completely unmasterable to the people who lived them. Number 3. Managing the ultimate fear. But not all of our motives are so logical. Some are buried much deeper. This is where we get into a powerful framework known as terror management theory, or TMT. Based on the work of anthropologist Ernest Becker, TMT suggests that a huge chunk of our behavior is driven by a deep, subconscious fear of our own mortality. We know we're going to die, and this knowledge creates a potential for paralyzing terror that we are constantly trying to manage. So, how do we manage it? By investing in worldviews that give us a sense of meaning, permanence, and symbolic immortality. And this is where your history obsession plays a key role, diving into ancient ruins, forgotten tombs, and the stories of civilizations that are now dust is a direct confrontation with mortality. But it's a controlled one. You're looking death in the face, but from a safe distance. When you learn about the elaborate burial rituals of the ancient Egyptians, or walk through the preserved streets of Pompeii, you're engaging with the reality of death on a massive scale. This lets your brain process the idea of annihilation without being crushed by personal dread. According to terror management theory, by connecting with something vast and ancient, something that stretches far into the past, and will outlast you, embed yourself in a story that's bigger than your own lifespan. This provides a feeling of symbolic endurance. In a strange way, you become part of that history. The act of studying and remembering these past lives gives them, and, by extension, you a kind of immortality. It helps quiet that nagging, existential whisper that asks, what will be left of me? Your fascination is a profound psychological defense against the fear of your own insignificance. You're reusing the echoes of the past to make your own fleeting existence feel more solid and meaningful. Number 4. The pull of the unknown and the need for meaning. Finally, let's not forget the simple, undeniable pull of a good mystery. We are meaning-making creatures. Our brains are built to find patterns, solve puzzles, and demand explanations. For that instinct, unsolved ruins and forgotten cults are the ultimate intellectual playground. The mystery of who built Stonehenge and why, the enduring legend of Atlantis, or the cryptic texts of an apocalyptic cult. These aren't just stories. They're information gaps that our minds are itching to fill. This fascination taps into what some researchers call a religion instinct, a natural drive to look for grander explanations for life's biggest questions. When we're faced with something like the pyramids, our minds wrestle with the how and the why, often sparking our imagination about lost technologies or forgotten wisdom. It challenges our entire understanding of what humans are capable of. And stories of cults, they're especially captivating because they explore the very boundaries of human psychology. They pose a terrifyingly relatable question. Could that happen to me? We all like to think we're strong-willed, but the stories of ordinary people being pulled into bizarre and destructive belief systems force us to confront our own vulnerability. This self-examination is both terrifying and thrilling. We analyze the cult leader's tactics and the follower's psychology, not just out of curiosity, but to reassure ourselves that we'd recognize the red flags, that we wouldn't fall into the same trap. Ultimately, this pull towards the unknown satisfies a deep need to believe there's more to the world than what's on the surface. These mysteries, whether they're architectural, spiritual, or psychological, give us a sense that there are still profound secrets waiting to be uncovered. And the quest for that hidden knowledge is one of the most powerful drivers of human curiosity. So, the next time you find yourself clicking on a documentary about a lost city or a tragic expedition, know that you're not just killing time. You're engaging in a deeply human, psychologically complex act. You're running a survival simulation, practicing how to avoid threats. You're seeking order to soothe your anxieties about our chaotic world. You're remanaging the most fundamental fear of all, your own mortality, by connecting with the grand timeline of human history. And you're feeding your mind's innate hunger for mystery and meaning. Your fascination with the dark chapters of history isn't morbid or strange. It's a sign of a brain that is actively trying to understand the world, protect itself, and find its own place within the vast and often tragic story of humanity. It is, in short, a sign of life. So, what about you? What historical disaster, ancient ruin, or mysterious cult are you obsessed with? Let me know in the comments below. I'd genuinely love to read about what corners of history you can't stop exploring. And if this explanation resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the psychology behind the things we do. Thanks for watching.